We discussed, and I forgot to tell you, you're not gonna see that. You're not gonna see that on
What
your
you mean?
recorder.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
I forgot to tell you that. Because that camera's just going there.
It's going in. Okay, no, that's perfect. That's fine. That's fine.
You don't see that.
Good. Good. How's it going? Everybody good?
I was saying how you have to be less intimidating to referees, you know?
That's what she was doing.
Yeah, you have to keep your hands.
You're right. Yeah, I learned how to communicate better.
Right, that's what you said.
And I gotta listen to myself. You get intimidated the referee. First thing they want to do is get a check and run away. And I learned how to put my hands in my pockets when I'm talking to the referee. So my hands ain't doing all this. So I put my hands in my pockets, or I'll do this. Or I'll say, let's walk this way so people can't see what I'm saying. They're worried about getting embarrassed for showing up. But like they'll give me a check, a little white guy or a lady, for example, will be over there screaming, yelling, cussing at them. Say that, I'm like, you gonna make that call? Boom, give me a check. They're just intimidated by my side. Yeah.
Who told you that? I mean, it's kind of, working your attention.
A lot of times, you be in coaching circles and we talk about that kind of thing. I watch Todd, and I see Todd now Todd put his hands in his pocket, but you can see his hands moving around in his pocket. I say, dude, you look like
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I tell you, man.
Buddy of mine just broke his book, Bigger Than Ballin'. I'm gonna come back in. Yeah, parental playbook on raising a student athlete.
Yeah, I need to talk about Coach Martin from South Carolina. That's why I sent you that thing.
Yeah, actually, he sent it to me also.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Because, he's a coach. He won't even, there's so many lessons we learn in it. He won't even talk to his kids about getting other coaches.
Oh, really? Yeah, wow. Ready, bro? We ready when you are.
Is that the real time?
Yes.
That thing goes fast, man, don't it?
Yeah, now it's quick. 8:48.
8:48. Wow.
There we go.
Good.
Here we go.
Hey, still fine stuff.
Oh, we're back. Great. Okay, so you're back to In the End We Win with Curtis. My name is Curtis Austin. This is our guest, Michael Bozeman. And just before we went to break, we were talking a little bit about parents and how the parents interact with their children, some of the things that you've seen as a coach with parents. I'd like to just point out that a friend of mine, Brandon C. Banks out of Atlanta, has written a book here recently called Bigger Than Ballin'. And it's the parental playbook on raising a student athlete. So I encourage you all to go out, all of you parents out there who's raising smaller children and coming up through the ranks, go to Amazon right now and pick up Bigger Than Ballin' by Brandon C. Banks. I think you're going to find that book to be very interesting, and more than that, it's going to be very helpful. So we talked about also in the first half of the show about inclusion and how sports can break down barriers and things like that. There was a situation that you ran into which was unique, to say the least, on the college ranks. And I'm not even sure if you have spoken about this on a grand scale like this. People are able to view this around the world. And we salute you all. To our military personnel, we salute you, say good evening.
Thank you for your
thanks
service.
for tuning in. Thank you for your service, absolutely. But if you're comfortable with sharing that situation, I think that it is an interesting story, an amazing story, and one that a lot of folks may not even have heard and be privy to.
I have not spoken about this publicly. And I'm comfortable doing it in this setting with you and
Cool, I
my
appreciate
family. I was the first Division I coach to have a transgender athlete.
on the team. And that's nothing in my book to be celebrated or proud about or ashamed of in that degree. I think it's more an accomplishment for the individual that went through
Going through it.
that was going through it. And if I could have been a lesser ingredient in that whole issue or whole situation, I would have rather have been
chosen
that.
to do that.
But it just so happened that I got thrust into the forefront of it as having to speak to it, as if I recruited the individual because of their transgender aspirations, and I didn't, obviously. But
You inherited the player?
I was
athlete?
right. I was a part of the recruitment, but I was assistant coach then. So, but to speak, to give it a short synopsis of it, it was a young lady on our team, and she was going through, college to me is a place where you explore, where you
Learn
find yourself.
who you are.
That, and I have two daughters at Morgan State University right now. Shout out to the Bears. That I'm excited for them to learn what they should and shouldn't do, for them to be out there on their own, for them to grow, to see what areas they want to get into. So there are some teachable moments and learning times that go into that. And I believe this person happened to have been searching, for that in with his sexuality. Okay.
His? Oh.
Yeah, I've learned that too.
This was a girls' team.
The gender is now a male.
A male. Oh, wow.
Right. So here I am. This guy was totally ignorant to, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I was totally ignorant to the transgender community. Totally. I mean, I had heard of transsexuals. I've heard of homosexuals, obviously, and but I had no clue about the transgender community. And then, so unprepared as I was thrust into the forefront.
Wow. So
of that situation.
let's hold that thought. It looks like we have a caller on the line. Good evening, caller. You're on with Curtis and Mike Bozeman. Caller? Good evening. Okay. Please try back 240-719-2560. So continue on.
At the time it was a she. So she was made it known that she wanted to transition to male. And being in a woman's sport, you could just imagine the controversy with
unfairness,
taking the necessary
hormone
medicines or whatever to make that transition.
Sure.
So there was a real brouhaha, so to speak, that arose, a big news conferences and all that, all such, and here I am, this guy that did not know about I'm talking about 24 hours before. I'm in front of cameras speaking on it as if I'm some expert about it.
Right.
Thrust in front of that. Now, I am who I am, and part of who I am is the whole piece of who I am is as a Christian man.
Okay.
Who loves God, who believes in the Bible wholeheartedly.
Right. Amen.
So, and then so then I'm getting blamed for being who I am, and it's kind of funny to me how we're talking about someone coming out and being comfortable who they are, but I'm told I can't be who I am.
Oh.
So we're talking about the rights of everyone else or everyone, so to speak. And now you're telling this Christian man, and this person asked me my opinion. So then we're tight. A coach and a player's relationship is tight. It's close to brother, sister, in some regards, uncle, in some regards, father, daughter, father, son. So
especially the way you do it, because you invite players into your home. That may be why you guys are successful.
Have done that, successful. Right. Yeah. So with that, at the time it was a she. So she was asking me my opinion. As much as I tried to shuck that away, like, listen, this is, in my opinion, doesn't matter, boom, boom, but she was requesting that. And our relationship demanded that I be truthful with her, with who I am. Now, why would you ask me that? And she knew who I was.
What you represent. Sure.
And so I didn't hide that, So when she asked that question and I answered it, that became a battle cry, so to speak, for certain individuals in the media and in the media, I'll say that, and so I got attacked about that, and it's funny. I spoke to my pastor before the news conference, and he warned me of that. He said, "Don't," and I didn't come out on the news and say, "Hey, this is, I think this is whatever opinion that would render." But I'm raised to believe that it's not my job to change anyone. It's God's job. It's my job to love everyone. So for anyone that thinks that I sat there in a judgment position and to convict her, give her any conviction, or him any conviction at this point, any conviction, they didn't know who I was and what I represented. And so then they jumped to that conclusion, oh, you can't be that way, but you want people to come out, but I can't come out.
Right.
So I felt that at that time. I mean, there's a lot of emotions that go into when you have to be quiet while other people roar.
Sure. And
no hate from me to anyone that took a negative position, and no hate from me to his name is Kai Adams. No hate from me towards him. None of that. But there's a story and there's a history that went on the other side of that, and it affected my family. It affected me. It affected my career. To some degree, I was labeled anti-gay.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm not anti anything.
Right.
I'm anti-Satan.
Right.
I haven't seen Satan.
Right.
I just, I'm about my Father's business, and that's loving, and that's accepting, and I leave all the changing and all that stuff, all the judging to Him.
So looking back at it, is there anything today that you would have done differently?
That's a great question. But I didn't think I did anything wrong.
Right.
In the first place, I thought I was perceived
not
wrong.
When you are staying true to who you are.
Right. I thought I was perceived wrong. I thought I was, when people was trying to jump on me about judging, I thought I was being judged.
True.
And I thought that people with the pen and who had websites, and people who were able to utilize those devices to speak and to condemn and to judge, do the same things that they were accusing of me. They were doing that to me, and it really affected my family. But in the end, you know, we win.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
in the end,
That's right.
you know, in church this weekend, they said when something that's true meets the truth, then in the end, you know, you win. So when true met the truth, which is the word, then it all comes full circle. And you know,
Touche.
I'm stronger for it. My wife and my family, and we're all stronger for it. We're tighter. Our bond has never been broken, and it's just increased us. So I'm back in it. I'm here in more powerful position. I'm here to empower the youth that I come in contact with.
Good.
I'm at a place called Riverdale Baptist, where I'm not a Baptist myself, but I get to pray with my team. I get
Wonderful.
to unashamedly be a Christian man and,
Right.
and shout out, you know, who gets all the glory.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. And I appreciate you for sharing that. And you know, this show is designed to highlight the good. Well, the show is designed to allow individuals tell their story. And because I know I know that everyone has a story, right? However, it's what's done after the story or during the story that makes the person,
Right.
right?
Right.
So our show, In the End We Win, is designed to allow, you know, have individuals come on, tell their story, but then also give that, you know, little bit of what they've learned from the story,
Wow.
what they're doing now. So with all of that you've learned through sports, through your dad, because I know your relationship with your dad, and you are back on the high school level. You're back on the high school level,
Yep.
and the impact that you're having with this group of kids is what? The impact that you're having with this group of kids today is what?
That talent is never enough. That we studied a book this year. I had an awesomely talented team, arguably one of the most talented teams in the country, and we were ranked high in the country all year. But what this particular group needed to learn was that talent is never enough. And we were reading a book by John Maxwell, and I'm telling you guys, make sure
He's
you
got
get
a
that.
series. He's
Yeah.
that's what he does. He's got a series of
And they talk about the intangibles, everything else that makes you a talent plus person,
Sure.
and the plus being the addition of the intangibles with your talent, and how being coachable, you know, being working hard, you know, because less talent beats more talent, and less talent works hard, and more talent doesn't. You know what I mean? So those kind of things. So what I would do is I would pull out chapters of the book, and I would assign that to the team.
Okay.
And I would ask them to write a summary, and they would text it to me in our little group.
Okay.
And it was awesome. It was,
Everyone bought in. Everyone
Man, it was-
participating.
by the end of the season, we probably were truly the best team. And it was hard to beat us in the end because we were bonded. I think the lessons were learned. The one thing that student athletes can get out of watching the NCAA tournament is every team that's there, they bought in. They bought into their coaches. They bought into the process. They bought into the system. Because at that point, that's the best of the best. And now you're in this tournament. You're watching everybody do their schemes and their strategies, and they all think their strategies are going to be the one that wins it.
Sure.
And so that's why you see upsets, because the difference in the beginning of the year, it's all about talent.
Okay.
And,
Right.
and as the year goes on, it's all about who's bought in, it's about the synergies that's within the
Sure.
team.
Yeah.
So now you got to balance.
That balance beam starts to.
Yeah, it starts to even out. So now quote unquote lesser talented teams can beat quote unquote more talented teams because they play better together.
Wow.
Or they, and then on any given night, anybody can be beat. That's the beauty of the NCAA tournament. I could talk about this all night. That's the beauty of the NCAA tournament.
Right.
And that's where I want to get. That's where I want to get players to, and that's the enthusiasm that I bring to coaching. That coaching gives to me. It's like, wow, man, I get to impact these people, these young people, and it's so rewarding when parents, you know, allow me the room to impact, and I take that responsibility. I pray on it every night. I thank God for that platform, and I pray that He empowers me to speak to them, but as a vessel, that Him speaking to them through me. That's what I've learned, man. I've learned that, you know, I can't be stopped by what people say. You know, it's just not going, you know, and all the evil things that people say, and you know, you hear what Michelle Obama would say, you know, you hear what Oprah would say, and you know about the light, you know, being the light in the darkness, and how light conquers dark, and dark can, you know, all those kind of things, and when you really come around to it, what really matters is your soul, and when God is in it, and you're doing it for the right reasons,
right?
You know, it's
wonderful.
So it gave me an opportunity to come back to high school, man. I relish the opportunity. I'm loving it. I'm enjoying myself.
Sure.
I think my family is, when you get Mike Bozeman, man, you get a crew, you know, because my wife is going to be in there, and she's going to, if we need her, if she needs to mop the floor, she will. You know what I'm saying? And then my kids, they're going to be the loudest fans in the building, and my daughter's going to sit there next to me and you know, get mad when I call the wrong place and all that stuff.
And that's a good point, because one of these days I'm trying to put together a show where we have a panel of husbands and wives, and we're just going to talk, because I know you guys have an awesome story as to how you met, but now you guys are what, 23 years into? 24 years into it. Yeah, and
she look like she's 24 years old.
You guys are always together, and it's stuff just like that, you know, that I've recognized you guys do a lot, and that's great.
And you know, that's one thing I learned as well, because it was at a point there where it almost felt like she was a single parent when I was coaching in college.
Why is that? Because you were gone so
often? I felt like my kids told me, well, I'm thinking, when, you know, after it all went down, I'm thinking they're going to come and love up daddy. And we had like a come to Jesus moment. Where they was like, when you was home, you wasn't home. When they want to spend time with me, they need to watch film. That way we can watch TV together. And I'm watching film, and they won't watch film or basketball, man.
Right.
You know, so, but that kind of humbled me and brought me back, you know, planted my feet back on to see what was really important to me. And, so if I can't take them with me, I ain't going.
Wonderful. So before we wrap this up, now you guys had created a few nonprofit organizations. Can you talk a little bit about that? And are they still going on? Are you still giving back to the communities, not just in your coaching, but then also in other ways? Because we always want to highlight how our viewers can take part in or participate with any of our guests, and if you guys have anything going on right now, any organizations that you'd like to present to our viewers, please do. This is your opportunity, whatever it may be, or even just the school and your coaching.
Well.
Before you do that, I apologize. It looks like we have a call. Good evening, caller. You're on the line with Curtis. Hello.
I heard them when they hung up.
You heard them when they hung up? Okay. Okay, so if you have anything that you would like to plug right now, please do. This is an opportunity for you.
I think I'm just going to plug Riverdale Baptist right now. I think that's our latest venture. We'll have basketball camps in the summer in August, the whole month of August, the first 3 weeks of August. We'll have basketball camps from 7:30 to 4 o'clock at Riverdale Baptist.
Open to the public?
Open to the public. What you'll get is you'll get fundamental training. You'll get great guest speakers. You'll get competition. You'll learn. You'll understand about how to apply the fundamentals into the actual game settings. You'll get great food because my wife is going to be making over top of that. You'll get all former college players as the counselors, and we take great pride in that, and we take that so seriously because it's an opportunity for us to give back.
Sure.
It's an opportunity for us to really teach the game in the way that it should be taught. It's an opportunity for young kids to be under a quality coach.
Absolutely.
And other coaches that I bring in there. And so come support, help me to help you support your kids in this great sport of basketball over at Riverdale Baptist.
Yeah, and just keep listening. I know he mentioned August, and we're a few months away from that, but we'll continue to promote that as we get closer. So definitely. So what's the end game for you as we wrap up here? What's the end game for Mike Bozeman and coaching?
The end game for me is to maximize right where I am. I don't have any crystal ball about